everybody, and welcome back to the English speech contest. So next, we'll be moving on to the second year students. Now, as we all know, the world is struggling, and in response, 17 Sustainable Development Goals have been created by the world to respond to them. And the SDGs, they make the world's problems a little bit more concrete, a little bit more understandable, and they help us find solutions to the world's greatest problems. And that's what the second year students would like to talk about today, as well as perhaps a personal connection to the goal that they've chosen. So, without further ado, let's move on to the first speaker, and that is Daiki Sato, and he will be talking about sustainable cities and communities. Let's give him a round of applause.
Are we bullies? Are we bullies? Are we making the earth cry? Are we? I want you to keep this phrase in your mind during my speech today. I'm going to give a speech about goal number 11. So I'm going to give a speech about goal number 11, sustainable cities and communities. This is actually a pretty big topic that I can't give a whole speech just today. So I would like to focus on how to make sustainable city system. 550 tons. This is the amount of carbon emissions from New Year's event of Sydney in 2015. It actually takes one whole year to absorb this amount of CO2 with over 5,000 trees. Wow, that's a lot. Can you imagine that? 5,000 trees. The reason why they released this much of CO2 was because the electricity they used mainly came from fossil fuels. Then, what kind of problem is CO2 causing now? To cut to the chase, that is climate change. Following that, one of the biggest problems is global warming. So let's take a look. So this is the image of the flow of carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide, CO2, from cities or anything ejecting them, they go up to the sky and transform into greenhouse gases. After that, due to some chemical effects, the gases make the atmosphere or temperature warm. In addition to that, they melt down the ice and heat up the ocean. Wow, that's scary. I would like to tell you my story. So I was watching a YouTube video, which was an American guy traveling to this country. The country was Tuvalu. The Tuvalu is located in Oceania and surrounded by the ocean. But one of the funniest points about this country is that this country is known for the least visited country in the world. But I think I can tell that because this country is so small that you can't see from the map easily. I put the star sign here. This is where Tuvalu is. So anyway, in the video, the American guy met this man. He shared his fear of sea level rise. He is afraid of the future that the whole country where he grew up might sink someday in the sea. So after I watched the video, I noticed that carbon dioxide, which is tiny element, can be a weapon to sink one country in the sea. well, then yeah, we are maybe bullies. You might ask me, Daiki, what can we do? Well, there's a brilliant idea to solve carbon emissions. Sono Motors, this company produces electric cars. So half cells, which are small batteries, they are integrated, they are put into the body of cars, and they are charged by the sun. So they don't have to use any electricity made from fossil fuels. So that the cars, their cars, can run without ejecting carbon dioxide or even charging. That's really impressive, isn't it? But not only cars, but buildings are working hard. Interestingly, the government of Tokyo has recently decided to force new houses in Tokyo to install solar panels or renewable energy, renewable batteries. Excuse me. But I think it costs a lot of money to set up such equipment. So I think government should do some financial support. In summary, we need to make use of eco-friendly energy to keep the earth and people safe. Having seen in the first slide, would you still want to bully the earth? Would you want to endanger people around the world, even after knowing some of the facts through my speech? Would you want to hurt them? Let's be gentle with the environment. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Daiki. Some extremely important points that he brought up there, but also a little bit scary as well. Okay, next on the stage is you and Kurumi, and they'll be talking about we already have enough. But Kurumi would like everybody to know that she's just had some new braces, right?
Yes.
So some words might be a little bit tough for her to pronounce, but I'm sure she'll do a great job. Okay, let's give you and Kurumi a round of applause.
Hello everyone. I know this is sudden, but have you ever seen food hunger around you? Have you ever seen boys like this in Japan? We haven't, which means Japanese can get enough food since they were born. However, other countries ain't all like this. There are around 800 million people on Earth suffering from food hunger. The amount is 8 times Japan's population, which means 1 out of 9 on the planet can't get enough food. Furthermore, it's going to increase. In addition to that, we produce double the food which we need. So, don't you wonder why? That is because we created the cause. We produce 3.2 million tons, but we also throw away 6.32 million tons per year, which means we could provide triple the amount actually. Don't you think it is so wasteful? So, what can we do to reduce the amount of waste? Some companies try to do it already. This is her example.
When I worked at 7-Eleven, I thought the food loss was very wasteful because the food was too good, and normally if I ate it, I didn't get stomachache or something bad at all. But look at this picture. The food loss amount is very huge. I couldn't help by eating it while taking a break. Just that. However, after 3 years working at 7-Eleven, I got a notice from the company. They said they will start an ESCO project. The project is that customers can get points on the Nanako card when they buy the stuff which is close to the expiration date. Actually, I thought it was a weak project to reduce the food loss amount. But it's helped little by little. Customers buy the stuff for getting points. In my opinion, I thought the food loss amount is getting lower than before because I noticed I couldn't get the food from the food loss corner on my break. That was sad for me, but it's a good thing overall, right?
Have you seen those activities around you? Although we think it's not enough, we think we still can do something.
So, what can we do? It's a quite small thing, but we can choose the stuff up front. Some people pick milk or eggs up behind, but if you pick stuff up behind, who will buy the stuff in front? Someone? No, we should be willing to pick stuff up in front. We talked about hunger around the world.
We already have enough food, so if we care about throwing away food, it will be a kind world. Thank you for listening.
Okay, thank you to Kurumi and you for that very important reminder about food waste. Okay, next on the stage is Natsuki and Aina, and sadly we're missing one student today. She couldn't make it, and that's Reina. But that adds an extra challenge. I'm sure you guys can do it. Good luck.
Hello everyone. Hello. Can't drink water, can't eat food. When you hear poverty, you probably imagine like that. Actually, poverty exists in Japan, even though it is hard to know that there is poverty in here. Furthermore, the ratio of children who are poverty is higher than other developed countries. What poverty problem or situation children facing? What can country, company, and we do for that? Let's start by knowing what's going on in Japan.
We are going to talk about relative poverty to understand the situation of child poverty. There are two types of poverty, absolute poverty and relative poverty. Absolute poverty is there are no food and clothes, no access to medical care, can't get an education, and having trouble to finding a place to live. It refers to the situation of poverty that we usually imagine in developing countries. On the other hand, relative poverty, people whose income level is less than about half of the average income.
In other words, it is difficult for them to spend a normal life because of some reasons, like can't get enough income even though they are working. This graph shows that shows shows that 30.5% children under 18 in 2019 are living poverty in Japan. So it means 1 in 7 children live in poverty. Also, as you can see, the poverty rate has very improved. Single-parent families are especially a big problem. The poverty rate for single-parent families in Japan was over 48%. So it means 1 in 2 single-parent families live in poverty, which is among the worst in developed countries.
So we would like to share about personal story. This is the story of Mana. When she was 6 years old, the poverty began with her father's illness. Before that, her father was working on full-time and her mother was a housewife. But he retired job and decreased income. When she was in elementary school, she couldn't pay for the school fee. The contents of envelope were empty and she had to lie. But she was thinking about to go to an art school, then now she could spend a stable life.
There are many children like her who live while hiding their poverty. So relative poverty is invisible for us. Then what is Japan doing to solve the problem? Poverty is not easy to solve, but we will introduce some tips to solve poverty little by little. First, let's see what we can do. There are 3 things we can do to solve poverty. First, understanding poverty issue. Second, donating and recycling. And third, participating in volunteer activities. And also, companies in Japan are working on a problem of poverty. They donate part of the proceeds from the employee cafeteria and recycle leftover amenities, etc. These volunteers will have a great impact on Japanese people. This is just a small part of the effort, but each of us should be able to do something.
We wanted to understand that poverty is not someone else's problem.
Thank you for listening.
Okay, thank you to Aina and Naski there. You did a great job even without one person. Okay, on to the next speaker, which is Hanami. Good luck, Hanami. Let's give her a round of applause.
Hello everyone.
Hello.
Imagine in the future, when you get older and become an elderly person, you'd see a doctor if you don't feel well. But you couldn't get proper treatment because of the lack of workforce and the medical system in hospital. Can you imagine the situation, even if it happens in Japan? In fact, we can't say it will never happen in the near future. As many of you know, the average Japanese lifespan is longer than other countries. Japan is in the top rate of ranking of lifespan in the world. And also, the Japanese average is 10 years over the world average. It's a good thing, but I suppose ranking and averages are not too important for now. So, I'd like to focus on the reason why the Japanese lifespan is longer. I would say the main reason is reliable health and medical system in Japan. When I was a child, I occasionally didn't feel well. Then, I went to see a doctor near my house and got appropriate medicine and treatment for recovery. They were not too expensive, I remember. However, when I went to the US, it was surprising that the medical costs were quite high. If you want to go to the dentist in the United States, it costs more than 3 to 6 times compared to Japan. In Japan, almost everyone can get high-quality medical service with reasonable prices because Japan has a health and medical system, and this system is supported by all Japanese people, in particular by working generations. In the future, there is a risk that we can't keep current system due to an aging population with a decreasing birth rate. Nowadays, we are in an aging society, and the elderly population accounts for about 30% of the total population in Japan. As a result, the working generations might decrease. We might not be able to keep supporting current system. For the programs, it's important to consider not only elderly people's health, but also the health of younger generations like us, because we are going to support future society. In Japan, some companies are taking measures against the decreasing birth rate. To give one example, Matsuda Motor Corporation is promoting work-life balance and diversity. To support working parents, they set up daycare in the office and promote the participation of men for child raising. Also, this logo is given to certified companies which focus on child care support. It has advantage for both companies and employees because companies can get a good impression and workers can take care of their lifestyle. By a lot of efforts, certified companies are increasing these days. Lastly, for the circumstances in Japan, what we can do is probably limited. It might be difficult to solve the problems immediately. However, for our descendants and our life, I'd like to suggest that everyone pay attention to living and working healthy. I believe it will connect the goal, good health and well-being. Thank you.
Okay, thank you to Hanami there. She highlights some important challenges for Japan. Okay, we are halfway through the second year students' presentations, speeches. We'll take a break. 15 minutes, shall we say? Let's resume after 11:20. Okay, well done everybody.